Hello, my name is Jim. Welcome to my booktube channel about books and reading and stuff. This video will be about the pros and cons of living in Georgia. I've lived here for 12 years now. This is Georgia the country, not Georgia the American state. The past 18 months have been difficult because of the coronavirus crisis. When Europe was experiencing the first wave of the coronavirus, Georgia was doing quite well. But since then, Georgia, like the rest of the world, has suffered and is still suffering today from coronavirus. I've had my 2 injections, so hopefully things are looking brighter. Firstly, the light. I love the fantastic light. There's lots of clear, sunny days, and coming from grey England, this is a boon for anybody that loves photography. The mountains are spectacular. Georgia is about the size of Ireland, almost exactly, about 70,000 square kilometres. Georgia has a very diverse geography. There are some very high mountains. Mount Shkara in Svaneti is 5,191 metres high. By comparison, Mont Blanc, the highest mountain in the Alps, is only 4,810 metres high. So there's some fantastic mountains here. If anybody loves mountains, they should visit Georgia. Georgia is popular for outdoor activities like skiing, hiking and whitewater rafting. Georgians rave about their cuisine. One list places Georgian cuisine 4th in a list of 48 of European cuisines, ranked only below Italy, France and Spain. Personally, this may be sacrilegious to say it, but I'm not so impressed. The signature dish, which is Khachapuri, which is a cheese-filled pastry, is not to my taste. It's too salty for me, it's too dry for me. I like chochala. Chochala are strings of hazelnuts or walnuts covered in a grape jelly. This is Georgian Snickers. This is very good. Georgia also has claim to be the cradle of wine. The winemaking in Georgia goes back 8,000 years to 6000 BC, and there is a lot of archaeological evidence to suggest that winemaking in the world began in Georgia. The Georgian language has been a bit of a nightmare for me. The Georgian language has its own unique alphabet and it's very different to English, and there are lots of nightmarish consonant clusters. My struggles with the language I've put into my blog, The Reluctant Georgian Learner. The literature, Georgians are very proud of their literature. There are statues to Rustaveli. Rustaveli wrote a great epic poem, Vepkhist or The Night in the Panther Skin. I probably butchered that pronunciation. There are many Georgian poets. Tsereteli, Chavchavadze. Chavchavadze published 5 of Stalin's poems in his magazine Iveria. Tbilisi has been designated the World Book Capital by UNESCO for 2021. Georgian writers are little known in the West. I made a video about Georgian literature, which I link here. Georgian literature in English translation. My favourite book so far of a Georgian writer that I've read in English is this one, Nododumbadze, Granny, Iliko, Ilarion and I. This is set in Guria in the 1940s. There's a lot of comedy. Nododumbadze is a great writer and it's been translated well, and there's a lot of humour about these odd assortment of characters. One thing that I don't like about Georgia is that Georgians, despite singing so much about how proud they are of their country, they litter with abandon in some of the most beautiful spots in the country. Even when there are bins, they're not often emptied. As for work, as a native English speaker with many years experience of teaching English as a foreign language, I can find plenty of students here There are many people who want to learn English, and there's not a lot of competition from other native speakers. As for safety, Tbilisi feels a very safe city. I've had no troubles. Apparently it hasn't always been like this. In the 1990s, street crime was high. But on a Friday or Saturday night, I feel a lot safer wandering around Tbilisi than I would wandering around a town in England. Public transport is cheap, but it can be very overcrowded. The new buses are better with air conditioning and less pollution, but there's only 2 metro lines, which doesn't serve all the parts of the city you might want to go to. The traffic here is scary at times. Cars don't necessarily stop just because you're a pedestrian wanting to cross the road. I also see a lot of drivers talking on their phones, and when Georgians ask me what I don't like about here, I say the traffic, and usually they nod in agreement. Smoking is very common here. I think in Europe it's only Serbia and Russia have a greater percentage of smokers than Georgia. It's very cheap here compared to Western Europe. Most smokers seemingly oblivious to those around them. It pains me to see people smoking in front of children here. Smoking has recently been banned in public buildings, but this usually just means a lot of smokers congregating around the entrance. It's not a very healthy scene. I came to Georgia in 2008 as a tourist. I just intended to visit for 3 days, but I was invited to a Georgian wedding where I met Khatuna. Khatuna was put with me to explain what was going on because her English was very good, and a year later I came back, we got married, and the rest, as they say, is history. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.